Hello and welcome to the jungle garden in Denmark. What we're trying to make here is a jungle garden and not a tropical garden. So that means a lot of plants, green plants, and not so many bright flowers. And we prefer plants with big leaves if we can get any. But even though we have a lot of so-called exotic plants, you can also use a lot of ordinary bushes, shrubs, and perennials that are totally hardy and do not require a lot of work in the winter time. And I think I'll try and show that in this episode. So this episode is all about foliage, plants with big leaves that gives it an exotic and jungle-like look. And first of all, we've got the tree ferns with the big fern-like leaves, and they do require winter protection. Then there is Gonera cryptica, which will get huge leaves, which I still have to see before I believe it, because mine just stays small for some reason. But hopefully we'll get there in the end. And then of course the palm trees. This is the most hardy one, Trachycarpus fortunei. A lot of places that don't need to protect it in winter, but we have found that we have to. Then we've got Phormium, New Zealand flax, and behind it a ginger, Hedychium Helen Dillon, and of course banana plants with its huge leaves. They all do get some sort of winter protection. Then we have Alocasia Borneo giant, and that is not hardy at all. It is lifted every autumn and taken indoors. And this is Cattleya spicata, another type of ginger, which also needs a little winter protection. And then the fig tree, which in our case is a bush or a shrub, we have found that it actually also needs some winter protection, even though this should be a hardy kind. But it just gets smaller and smaller, so now we are beginning to protect it in winter. And hopefully that would make it into a tree instead of a shrub. And then there's Cordyline australis with these strappy leaves, which is also giving the jungle an exotic look, we think. And then we have Tetrapanax papyrifera, which gets huge leaves. Ours are lagging behind this year because of lack of heat, but when it gets the normal leaves, it definitely contributes to the jungle look. And this is Colocasia sangria, which also gives a jungle look, but that is not hardy. That has to be lifted and taken indoors for winter. All the Colocasias this year are behind because of the cold spring and summer we've had so far. And then there is Melianthus major, which looks really exotic with its bluish green leaves, and that has shown to be not very hard in my garden, so I have to lift it every winter and take it inside. And this is Eucomis pineapple lily, which is also just like a perennial. It disappears in the winter time and then it comes back in spring. And this is Albizia julibrisson, which also has got some beautiful leaves. It is fairly hardy, but we winter protect it just in case, because it has been cut down by the frost a few winters in a row, and that's why it's not very tall yet. And then there's Canna musifolia with its huge red leaves, which also I think fits well into the jungle garden. But it doesn't have to be exotic plants with special needs. These are just ordinary ferns, and they deal with the winters in Denmark no problem at all. And this is a Dutchman's pipe, which is fully hardy. And this is Paulownia tomentosa, which is fully hardy. And if you coppice it every spring like we do, you get these huge leaves. And then there is Crocosmia with these strappy leaves that fit right in with the jungle garden. And then they get these beautiful flowers, so you get these splashes of color in all the green stuff. And the plant there in the background is Darmera peltata, and a perennial, fully hardy, and it almost looks like a mini gunnera with its big leaves. And here we have Rodgersia. I don't remember which sort, but that also gets these huge leaves that fits into the jungle garden, and that is just a perennial, totally hardy. And then there's of course Fatsia japonica with these huge big glossy green leaves, and it is been hard in my garden down to minus 14 degrees Celsius, and it doesn't get any sort of protection. It looks a bit tatty in the spring, but when you've cut off the sad looking leaves, it just looks splendid, as you can see. And then of course there are bamboos, which you can get in all sorts of heights and colors and shapes, and some of them are invasive and some of them are clump forming. You just have to find out which ones you want, and they certainly gives the garden a jungle look, and most of them are fully hardy. And this is a Stilboides tabularis, which is an ordinary perennial with huge leaves, and that is also fully hardy here in Denmark. And another absolutely ordinary shrub, Aucuba japonica. This is the variegated kind, and it also fits very well in with the jungle look. And this is another bamboo, one of the dwarf forms. This is Sasacorilensis, which has these really broad jungle-like leaves. And then there are the hostas, which also can be found in all sorts of shapes and sizes and leaf colors. This is Hosta Empress Wu that gets these enormous leaves, and it's a fully hardy perennial. And this was all for now. I hope this has given you some ideas of what you can put in your garden to give it a jungle look. Thanks for watching.